Hi and welcome to Cheeky Richo's peanut butter and jello ice cream sandwiches. The ingredients are in the recipe box below. We will be using the Thermochef and an ice cream churner. So let's get started. To our Thermochef jug, we are just going to add our milk, our Cheeky Richo vanilla paste, sweetened condensed milk, a whole can of that. Our peanut butter, I'm using the peanut butter that has the salt in it because I think it has a lovely flavour. And I'm also using a crunchy variety. You could use smooth or any other nut butter that you actually like for this. Our honey, peanut butter and honey is divine. And we've got our thickened cream. Now, our cream has been in the freezer just chilling down to give this a bit of a head start. So there's a few ice crystals in there. In we go with that too. Now we're going to whiz this up until it's well combined. Speed 3 for 30 seconds, and this is what you should have. It's really quite smooth and peanutty now. We're just going to pour it into a slab tin and pop it into the freezer to chill right down. So just get all our chunky bits out of there. It's smelling pretty good. Into the freezer we go. And now we're just going to make our strawberry jam for our peanut butter and jello ice cream sandwiches. We're just using 2 ingredients: strawberries, fresh, washed and hulled, and some raw sugar. So into our Thermochef jug goes our strawberries, followed by our raw sugar. And we're going to cook this in the Thermochef for 15 minutes on the steam function, which is the highest temperature that this machine will produce, on speed 2. We don't want to smash up the strawberries too much, but we do want to make it into a jam-like consistency. I'm also going to pop the basket on top with the measuring cup removed. The reason that I'm doing this is it will allow maximum amount of evaporation without splattering through this hole, which sugars, syrups and sauces tend to do, and make a bit of a mess in the kitchen. It'll actually be collected in there. So that's why we pop it on there. Just a handy hint, it might help you. Okay, 15 minutes later, this is what you should have. Seriously, this is quicker than the microwave. We're just going to pour that into our bowl now. No need to pour it into a sterilised jar because we're going to be using it immediately. And look at that, big chunks of strawberry, absolutely packed full of fruit and nothing artificial. 2 ingredients. How easy is that? It's stirred itself and it hasn't stuck. Nothing burns in the bottom of the Thermochef. And I haven't had to stir it. Now I'm just going to pop our strawberry jam into the freezer to get as cold as possible because we don't want it to melt our ice cream when we include it in our peanut butter and strawberry jello ice cream sandwiches. Okay, it's time to turn our partially frozen peanut butter ice cream mixture into our frozen ice cream churner. A bit of a solid icy bit in there, but that's okay. The ice cream churner will sort that all out. And we're going to process this in the ice cream churner for 25 minutes until it's nice and smooth and creamy. It will have the chunks of the peanut butter in it, peanut pieces in it. If you would prefer to use a smooth peanut butter, by all means do so, but I just like the little crunch that it gives when you're eating it. Paddle in, into the machine we go, lid on, and 25 minutes later we'll have some lovely creamy peanut butter ice cream. And now we just get our silicone baking tray and we line it with some cling film. Layer in half of our strawberry jam, spread it on the bottom and pop it into the freezer to cool down because we don't want to melt our peanut butter ice cream when it goes in. Okay, 25 minutes later, we just remove our peanut butter ice cream from our ice cream machine and we pour it in on top of our jam that's just been allowed to sit there. This will break up a little, sort of mix into the jam a little bit, but don't worry about that. You'll still be able to see the layer on the outside when we put it inside our sandwiches. So just spread that out as best as you can so that it sticks to the bottom, and then we are going to put some of our homemade strawberry jam in on top of that, and what that will do is provide a layer that will protect our wafers from getting soggy from the ice cream. It'll also give us a little red layer on the outside, just as you would if you were actually making a sandwich with bread. Once we've done that, we just pop it into the freezer to cool because we don't want it to melt our ice cream when it goes in if it's too warm. Now we just spread this out to all the far corners. Make sure it's as even as possible. We've got to move quickly here because we don't want it to melt unduly. Press it right down. And now we just spread some of our chilled strawberry jam on top of it. You can have all of that. Yummy. So you've got roughly half on the bottom and half on the top. Oh, this is smelling pretty fine, let me tell you. Spread that all around and then back into the freezer we go to get it as hard as possible before we cut it and sandwich it between our wafers right to the edges. Okay, into the freezer we go. Okay, it's time to remove our well and truly frozen peanut butter and JELLO ice cream from its mold, and we're going to cut it into wedges. They will be the same size as our ice cream wafers, so they've got to be the same size as that. Use a sharp knife. You may need to use a hot knife. It depends on how hard or how cold your actual freezer is. But our homemade strawberry jam is well and truly set. You can see on the bottom, covered it as well. This is pretty close to being exactly double the width our pan, and you've got roughly about 5 times the width here as well, so you'll get 10 ice cream sandwiches out of this, and we're just going to cut them now. So with a sharp knife, just press down firmly. Be careful not to cut yourself. And now we just gently press those on there and cut down in between. You won't need to use a ruler or anything like that unless you particularly want to. Now we just lift that off and pop our other wafer underneath. And there you have it, cheekyricho's peanut butter and JELLO ice cream sandwiches. Have a little taste, shall we? God, that is so nice. It's creamy. You can see the little crunchy pieces of the peanut butter in there. These big blobs of strawberry coming out of it everywhere. Yummo. You have to try this. It's so good. Thanks for watching.